So if you remember all those headers that we just changed, if you had already added your data to your dashboard, know that now you need to remove that data, re-add it again. And I'm going to show you real quick. Let's go in here, add our data back. And then, okay, so you see I have duplicated sheet headers were found in the following connection fields, name and symbol. So that's easy. I just need to go back in here and make sure that this is like name 1 and then symbol 1, because that removes the duplication issue. Just gonna hit back, see if I can add the data again and see if it'll ignore that. Okay, yep, so when I say add that in, we're good to go. We got the data in here now. I'm going to go ahead to resources and hit manage added data sources just to check on what I've got, make sure those headers are up to date. So yes, you see I have those names here that they're looking a little bit better than what they were. But the only thing I want to make sure that I have going on is that I have the correct types right here, especially with my dates. So last updated is date and time, date added is date and time. That's good. Let's see, market cap is a number. Great. Just want to make sure that all of these match up with what I'm thinking. I don't want anything to be like, I don't want the price to be like text. I want it to be a number, right? Yep, there we go. Last updated. Perfect. Okay. And sometimes if you ever notice anything screwed up with your data, understand that that may be something that you want to go check out inside of the resource section here. So let's back out of here. And also too, if you ever need to refresh your data, go to view and then just do refresh data and you should be good to go. Now this chart right here is all messed up because we don't have any dimensions, but we can quickly put one in. Actually, let's just delete that and then we'll just go to add chart and we'll just do time series chart. Put it right below here, expand it out. And let's see, this is going off of date added. So this is like when the cryptocurrency was added to CoinMarketCap, not when the value was added. So like last updated would be a good date formula for us right here. So let's do last updated. Let's put it in here as their dimension for our day range. So the only thing we really have is July 31st, right? That's when we actually have that in here. But let's go ahead and get our price as our metric. And now let's do this. What we really need to have happen is we need to apply a filter, and we'll have to make a filter that only shows Doge. So we're going to say Doge filter, and we'll say include symbol that equals to Doge, right? So this is going to filter down all the data down to one specific thing. And let's see where this gets us. So we have our time series here, but we only have one day, and we're going to fix that eventually. But let's go ahead and go over to style in this chart, and let's do this. Let's turn it into a bar. This is fine. Let's do show data label. So this is the price is 0.41, but pretty sure that's not correct. I'm pretty sure the Doge data is going to be, I think the price is a lot less than that. So let's do filter. I just need to do right click and filter view. Okay, cool. Yeah. And we'll go through here and search for Doge on that column. We'll just clear all and only select Doge. And then let's see what it gives us. Why is it not filtered? There you go. I don't know why I wasn't filtering the first two times. So let's look through here. Let's look at the price. Yeah, so the price is 20.6, but because we have it cycled to 1 day, we have it adding these two together to get 4.1. That's because in the fairness of this chart, we're asking it, what's the, if you look at how this is configured again, you say, hey, what's the sum of the price USD for this date? Then we do get this figure. So what we can do is we can say, instead of sum, we can just say max, and then that should give us a rounded up accurate count. So now we put max, we can do as many pulls as we want every day, and it's only going to give us the max value for that day. So that would kind of be like the market high. So if we pulled in some other days data, then we would eventually have something that represents, just the high instead of the top price. Ideally, what you could do is just pull the data once per day only, and then you would have the true figure for the time when you did the actual pull. But this is nice too, because we can say max, and then we can also do like min. So you can do the high and the low for the day if you want to do market data that way. And for the purposes of this chart, what we could actually do is turn this into just a column chart where we change the style to say, give us only 15 days or 15 bars. So 1 day on each bar, right? And that way we'll just have 15 days of time represented. And then what we can do eventually when we have 15 days worth of data is we'll insert a text box. And right here we'll say market price, or we'll say Doge price high for past 15 days. So that way people know what this is whenever they're here. If this is for someone else, then this is really good practice to label all of your charts. And then on top of that, this is disgusting over here, this little thing right here, price USD, that label. So we can change that actually just by going in here and just change the name, and we'll just say price USD. So we'll do that, and we can actually go ahead and specify too on that metric, hit the little edit button. We'll say type number currency, and then actually go pick USD out of it. So it's all the way at the bottom, even though it's one of the most common currencies used. I wish that the list didn't sort like that. But so here we go. So we have our date, and we're gonna have 15 bars here when this comes in. I'm actually gonna go and make some dummy data, some like fake entries of like other prices, so that way we can have at least 15 pieces of data or 15 days worth of data. It's going to be like fake, just made up numbers, but eventually it'll show you what your data is eventually going to come to. And actually the way I'm going to make that dummy data is when I'm in here and I'm filtered down to just Doge, what I'm going to do is just select a column, or sorry, a row of Dogecoin data. I'm just going to add some rows to the bottom. This is good. We'll actually add a couple thousand rows here, so that way we don't have to worry about our data filling up for a long time. This would be like 62 requests, so 62 days worth of data would fit in here. And Google Sheets doesn't really tend to care too much about how that all comes in. So what we'll do is we'll take this whole column and we'll just select that. And then I think what I'm going to do is take the filter off, and we'll just say clear, so select all, right? And then at the top, I'm going to actually just do insert one below. Perfect. So I'm just going to insert a couple of rows here. And then I'm going to fill these up with Dogecoin data and change the date and the price. So let's see, let me get a couple in here. So once I do this, I'll show you real fast. All right, so once I have everything in here, let me paste my one row that I have. I'll go over here and see that this is all good to go. Let's paste it in for all these other rows as well. So we just have a bunch of Dogecoin entries here. And then we'll go through and change the prices and the updated dates. All right, so last updated is our measure here. So I'm just gonna backtrack this and I'm just gonna make these progressively backdated manually. So I'm just gonna say like 28 and so on and so forth all the way through here. And then I'm gonna do a similar thing with the prices. I'm just gonna change the price a little bit. Okay, so I went through and I changed the price and I try to make them match as close to possible as the actual price that's there. But once again, it's just for dummy data. It's just so that you can have something to work with in your data visualization. So sometimes it's just really useful, especially when we're doing something like this where we're limited and we can't access the historical data. This is a good way to do that. So we're sort of making data right here that we don't actually have with what we have. And once again, something that I found in here is that there's actually 2 last updated columns. I do not know how Google Sheets could let me get through without catching this, but just be aware that this is a potential thing that you could face. So I'm going to make this last updated do not use. So don't worry about that. Just things to look out for, because what I try to do is make this chart, but I was using the wrong last updated field. But see, now you can see that we have this set up, but what we have is it looks like it's filtered with like the right, so like left to right in terms of like the future being on the far right, which is what we want for our chart. So what we could do is I think we're gonna sort ascending, right? So most recently the price has been up, but in the past little bit it was low. So see, here we go. Now we have our, I believe our 15 days worth of data. So yeah, we're rocking. So this is now a time series chart that's just gonna update if you have it on schedule. If you don't, then it's just going to load in whatever you have for each day. So the only thing that's a bummer with manual queries, when you go in here and you actually go to your tools or your add-ons and go to API connector and actually manually click this each day and run it, is that you have to do it every day, or else you are going to miss out on data and you're going to have a gap in your chart. So that's why I have mine and they're set to schedule, but up to you, right, on if you want to do that. So another thing to think about with this chart, now that we're building it, is we could change the date format down here to be a little bit cleaner. So that way it's not like always putting the year, because I think maybe the year is assumed, right, when you got that front of the chart when it says for past 15 days, like you know what year it is off the top of your head, right? So if you go and you click the edit button for the dimension and the date, you can actually kind of change around what sort of date it is. So if I went and was like date hour, then it would give me time. If I went through here and was like day of week, right, then it would give me like each day of the week that it was. So if you want to mess with time, that's kind of a super cool way to do that. And then ISO week, that's something entirely different you're probably never going to use. But if you do year, right, that just filters it down to the entire year. If you do date and time, that's going to give you that long option. So maybe we'll just do date, like month day. Yep, so month day is going to be like our cleanest option, to just be like July 31st, July 30th, July 29th. On down the line, like super easy to read with a little explanation of what sort of content you're going to be seeing here. And we can even make this a little bit bigger and put this like right there. And that looks clean, right? So we're off to a good start, and let's move on to some more stuff.